All right, forward thinkers, let's get this podcast rolling. Welcome everyone to a deep dive into something that's truly near and dear to my heart. The Future You Formula. Unlock your potential. Achieve your dreams faster. I'm Melvyn C.C. Valenzuela, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this journey. Now, I understand that the world is inundated with self-help books, podcasts, and programs. You might be asking yourself, what makes this one different? And that's a fair question. I've spent years immersed in the world of human resources and personal coaching, and I've seen firsthand the challenges people face when trying to create lasting change. The Future You Formula isn't just a collection of theoretical concepts or feel-good affirmations. It's a practical, actionable roadmap built on real-world experience and proven strategies. This book is the culmination of years of observation, research, and hands-on work with individuals and teams. I've seen the patterns that lead to success, and I've witnessed the roadblocks that derail even the most well-intentioned efforts. And what I've discovered is that true personal growth isn't about quick fixes or overnight transformations. It's about building a solid foundation, developing sustainable habits, and cultivating a mindset that empowers you to thrive. The Future You Formula is designed to be your companion on this journey. It's a guide to building a life of purpose, productivity, and resilience. It's about creating a future that's aligned with your values, fueled by your passions, and fortified by your inner strength. We're not just talking about achieving external success, although that's certainly a part of it. We're talking about creating a life that's deeply fulfilling, a life that's rich in meaning and purpose. It's about discovering your unique gifts, embracing your potential, and making a positive impact on the world around you. And look, I understand that change can be challenging. It requires effort, commitment, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. But I also know that it's possible. I've seen it happen time and time again. I've seen individuals transform their lives, overcome obstacles, and achieve remarkable things. And I believe that you have that same potential within you. You have the power to create a life that's extraordinary, a life that's truly your own. In this deep dive, we're going to explore some of the core principles that make the Future You Formula so powerful. We're going to talk about goal decomposition, micro-habits, mindset, limiting beliefs, energy management, and productivity. We're going to delve into practical techniques that you can implement in your daily life to create lasting change. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how you can connect with your own inner wisdom, how you can tap into your own unique strengths, and how you can create a life that's aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. This isn't just about learning new strategies or acquiring new skills. It's about embarking on a journey of self-discovery, a journey of personal transformation. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. So, grab a pen and paper, maybe a cup of coffee or tea, and settle in. We're going to spend the next few minutes exploring some powerful ideas that can help you create a life that's truly extraordinary. Let's start by addressing a common misconception: that personal growth is a destination. It's not. It's a journey, a continuous process of learning, evolving, and becoming. It's about embracing the challenges, celebrating the victories, and staying committed to your own growth and development. And that's where the Future You Formula comes in. It provides a framework, a roadmap, to guide you on this journey. It's a tool to help you navigate the ups and downs, to stay focused on your goals, and to create a life that's aligned with your values and aspirations. One of the key principles of this framework is the importance of self-awareness. It's about understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, and your beliefs. It's about recognizing the patterns that shape your behavior and the stories you tell yourself. Without self-awareness, it's difficult to make meaningful changes. You might be working hard, but you might be working in the wrong direction. You might be pursuing goals that don't truly align with your values, or you might be sabotaging your own success with limiting beliefs. That's why I encourage you to take some time to reflect on your own life. What are your values? What are your passions? What are your dreams? What are the stories you tell yourself? And be honest with yourself. This isn't about judging yourself or criticizing yourself. It's about gaining clarity, understanding, and ultimately, empowering yourself to create positive change. Another important principle is the power of intention. It's about setting clear goals, creating a vision for your future, and aligning your actions with your intentions. When you're clear about what you want, you're more likely to achieve it. You're more likely to stay focused, motivated, and committed to your goals. But intention without action is just wishful thinking. You need to take consistent, deliberate action to bring your intentions to life. And that's where the power of goal decomposition and microhabits comes into play, which we will deeply dive into in a moment. And finally, I want to emphasize the importance of resilience. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and unexpected detours. It's how you respond to these challenges that determines your success and your happiness. Resilience isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about developing the inner strength to bounce back from adversity, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward. It's about cultivating a growth mindset, a belief that you can learn, grow, and improve, even in the face of adversity. And that's what the Future You formula is all about. It's about empowering you to build a life that's not just successful, but resilient, fulfilling, and truly your own. So, let's get ready to unpack some of the core principles of this book. Let's get ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal transformation. Let's get ready to create the future you desire. All right, let's move on to one of the most practical and, frankly, transformative concepts from the Future You formula: goal decomposition and microhabits. This, folks, is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we take those grand visions, those aspirations that often feel like distant stars, and bring them down to earth, making them tangible, achievable. Now, I've seen countless individuals, both in my coaching practice and in my own life, fall victim to the big goal trap. We set these massive, audacious goals. I'm going to write a novel. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to launch a multi-million-dollar business. And then we stare at them, frozen, overwhelmed by their sheer magnitude. It's like looking at a mountain range and thinking, how am I ever going to climb that? The task seems impossible. The effort required feels insurmountable, and we end up doing nothing. We procrastinate, we make excuses, and eventually, we give up. And the truth is, this is a perfectly natural human response. Our brains are wired to conserve energy, to avoid perceived threats. And when a goal feels too big, too complex, our brains interpret it as a threat. We experience anxiety, fear, and a sense of inadequacy, all of which contribute to inaction. That's where goal decomposition comes in. It's about breaking down those massive goals into smaller, more manageable steps. It's about changing our perception of the task, making it feel less like a mountain and more like a series of hills. But I don't just stop at breaking down goals into smaller steps. I take it a step further, and this is where the magic of micro-habits comes in. These aren't just smaller steps. They're tiny steps. They're so small, they're almost ridiculous. Think about it. Instead of saying, I'm going to run a marathon, you say, I'm going to run for 2 minutes today. 2 minutes. It's so easy. It's almost impossible to say no. And that's the whole point. We're bypassing that resistance, that mental block that keeps us from starting. Because let's face it, the hardest part is often just getting started. Once we get that ball rolling, it's much easier to keep it going. Now, some of you might be thinking, 2 minutes? That's not going to get me anywhere. And you're right, in the short term. But this isn't about instant gratification. It's about building a foundation of consistency. It's about creating a positive feedback loop that reinforces our commitment and motivates us to keep going. Let's unpack why this approach is so effective. 1. Elimination of overwhelm. As I mentioned earlier, that feeling of being overwhelmed is the biggest obstacle. When we face something that feels too big, our brains just shut down. Microhabits address this by making the initial action so small that it doesn't trigger that sense of overwhelm. 2 minutes of running? That's nothing. It doesn't elicit the same anxiety as the thought of running 26.2 miles. And this is crucial for overcoming procrastination. Because when something feels manageable, we're more likely to do it. We're breaking that cycle of avoidance. The initial act of starting, no matter how small, is often the hardest part, and micro-habits make it easier to overcome that hurdle. 2. Building momentum. Once we've done that 2-minute run, we're more likely to do it again. Because we've completed a task, we feel a sense of accomplishment, and that triggers a release of dopamine, the feel-good chemical in our brain. We want to experience that feeling again, so we're more likely to repeat the action. This is what I call the Zeigarnik effect. It's the idea that incomplete tasks create tension, and completing them relieves that tension. By consistently completing micro-habits, we create a positive feedback loop, where each small win reinforces our commitment and motivates us to continue. And this momentum is crucial for long-term progress. As we consistently perform these small actions, we build confidence, we build competence. That 2-minute run might turn into 5 minutes, then 10, and so on. We're gradually building our capacity, our endurance. 3. Leveraging the power of consistency. Consistency is the cornerstone of habit formation. It's not about doing something once or twice. It's about doing it consistently, day in and day out. Because habits are formed through repetition. By consistently performing micro-habits, we gradually ingrain them into our daily routines, making them automatic, effortless. And the power of consistency lies in its compounding effect. Small, consistent actions, performed over time, can lead to exponential growth. That 2-minute run might seem insignificant in isolation, but over a year it adds up to a substantial amount of running. And even more importantly, consistency fosters discipline and self-efficacy. By consistently adhering to our micro-habits, we demonstrate to ourselves that we are capable of achieving our goals. We build that belief in ourselves, that confidence that we can do hard things. Now, how do we apply this in our lives? It's really quite simple. Practical application. The principles of goal decomposition and micro-habits can be applied to just about anything. Fitness, health, career, personal growth, you name it. The key is to identify your goal and break it down. Let's say you want to write a book. Instead of setting a goal to write 1,000 words a day, which can feel overwhelming, you might commit to writing for just 15 minutes each day. That's a micro-habit. It's so brief, it doesn't feel daunting, but it allows you to make consistent progress. Over time, you can gradually increase the amount of time you spend writing. Or maybe you want to learn a new language. Instead of trying to cram vocabulary and grammar for hours, you might commit to learning just one new word each day. That's a micro-habit. It's simple, it's easy, but it allows you to expand your vocabulary over time. Here's the process. 1. Identify the goal. Be specific. What do you want to achieve? Set a time frame. 2. Break down the goal. What are the smaller steps you need to take? 3. Identify micro-habits. What tiny actions can you incorporate into your daily routine? 4. Schedule micro-habits. When will you do them? Put them in your calendar. 5. Track progress. Monitor your adherence. Celebrate your wins. 6. Adjust as needed. Evaluate, adapt, and refine your approach. And remember, this is a journey. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about taking those small, consistent steps and gradually building momentum. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals. Now let's dive deeper into each step and illustrate it with more examples. 1. Identify the goal. Clarity is key. The first step is to clearly define your goal. Vague goals lead to vague results. Be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Smart. Instead of, I want to be healthy, try, I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months. Instead of, I want to be a better writer, try, I want to complete a 50,000-word novel in the next year. 2. Break down the goal, the art of decomposition. Once you have a clear goal, break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. These steps should be specific actions that you can take to move you closer to your goal. For example, if your goal is to lose 10 pounds, your steps might include: research healthy eating plans, create a weekly meal plan, go grocery shopping for healthy foods, find a workout routine that you enjoy, schedule workouts into your calendar. 3. Identify micro-habits. The power of tiny actions. This is where the magic happens. Take those smaller steps and break them down even further into micro-habits. These are actions that are so small, they're almost impossible to resist. For example, instead of go grocery shopping for healthy foods, try add one healthy item to my grocery list today. Instead of find a workout routine, try watch a 2-minute workout video today. Instead of create a weekly meal plan, try write down one healthy meal idea today. 4. Schedule micro-habits. Make them a priority. Don't leave your micro-habits to chance. Schedule them into your calendar just like you would any other important appointment. This makes them a priority and increases the likelihood that you'll actually do them. 5. Track progress. Celebrate your wins. Tracking. Your progress is essential for staying motivated and making adjustments as needed. Use a journal, a spreadsheet, or an app to track your micro-habits. Celebrate your wins no matter how small. Every completed micro-habit is a step in the right direction. 6. Adjust as needed. Be flexible and adaptable. Life happens. Circumstances change, unexpected events arise, and sometimes our initial plans need to be revised. Don't be afraid to adjust your micro-habits or your overall plan as needed. The key is to stay flexible and adaptable and to keep moving forward, even if it's in a slightly different direction. For example, let's say you've scheduled a 30-minute workout for every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but one week you're swamped with work deadlines and you just can't find the time. Instead of throwing in the towel and giving up on your fitness goals, you could adjust your micro-habits. You could commit to doing a 10-minute workout on those days, or even just doing a few stretches or jumping jacks throughout the day. The point is, don't let setbacks derail your progress. Instead, use them as an opportunity to learn and adapt. And remember, consistency is more important than intensity. Even small, consistent actions can lead to significant results over time. The power of habit stacking. Another powerful technique that I discuss in the Future You formula is habit stacking. This involves linking a new micro-habit to an existing habit. For example, if you want to start flossing your teeth more regularly, you could link it to your existing habit of brushing your teeth. Every time you brush your teeth, you also floss. This technique leverages the power of existing routines to make it easier to incorporate new habits. It reduces the cognitive load required to remember and perform the new habit, making it more likely that you'll stick with it. You can apply habit stacking to a wide range of micro-habits. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 2 minutes. After I finish brushing my teeth, I will write down one thing I'm grateful for. After I sit down at my desk, I will identify my most important task for the day. The key is to find existing habits that you perform regularly and then link your new micro-habits to them. The role of environment. Our environment plays a significant role in shaping our habits. If you want to make it easier to stick to your micro-habits, create an environment that supports them. For example, if you want to eat healthier, remove unhealthy snacks from your pantry and fill it with healthy options. If you want to read more books, create a cozy reading nook in your home. You can also use environmental cues to trigger your micro-habits. For example, you could place your running shoes by your bed to remind you to go for a run in the morning. Or you could set a reminder on your phone to meditate for 2 minutes. The importance of patience and persistence. Building new habits takes time and effort. Don't expect to see results overnight. It takes patience and persistence. There will be days when you don't feel like doing your micro-habits. There will be days when you slip up and miss a day or two, but don't give up. Just pick yourself up and keep going. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Focus on taking those small, consistent steps, and you'll eventually reach your destination. Overcoming common obstacles. Even with the best intentions, you may encounter obstacles along the way. Here are some common obstacles and how to overcome them. Lack of time. If you're struggling to find time for your micro-habits, try scheduling them into your calendar or breaking them down into even smaller steps. Lack of motivation. If you're lacking motivation, remind yourself of your why. Why is this goal important to you? What will you gain by achieving it? You can also try visualizing your success or finding an accountability partner. Perfectionism. Don't let perfectionism hold you back. Remember, progress is more important than perfection. Focus on taking consistent action, even if it's imperfect. Fear of failure. Fear of failure is a common obstacle. But remember, failure is a part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just learn from them and keep moving forward. The transformative power of microhabits. The power of microhabits lies in their ability to create lasting change without overwhelming you. By focusing on small, consistent actions, you can gradually transform your life. Remember, it's not about doing everything at once. It's about taking one small step at a time. It's about building a foundation of consistency and momentum. And as you consistently perform your microhabits, you'll start to see a ripple effect in other areas of your life. You'll feel more confident, more motivated, and more in control of your destiny. You'll start to realize that you're capable of achieving far more than you ever thought possible. And that's the true power of goal decomposition and microhabits. It's about unlocking your potential and creating a life that's truly extraordinary. So, I encourage you to take some time to reflect on your goals and identify the microhabits that you can incorporate into your daily routine. Start small, be consistent, and watch as those tiny actions lead to remarkable results. Let's move on to our next topic. All right, forward thinkers, let's transition smoothly into another fundamental pillar of the future you formula, the power of mindset and the often insidious nature of limiting beliefs. This is a topic I'm deeply passionate about, because I've seen firsthand how profoundly our beliefs shape our realities. Think of your mindset as the operating system of your life. It's the set of beliefs, attitudes, and assumptions that guide your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And just like any operating system, it can be either efficient and supportive or riddled with bugs and glitches. Unfortunately, many of us are running on outdated or corrupted software. We're operating on a system that's filled with limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, and self-sabotaging patterns. And until we address these issues, we'll continue to experience the same frustrations, the same roadblocks, and the same lack of progress. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about some superficial positive thinking or wishful thinking. It's about a fundamental shift in how you perceive yourself and the world around you. It's about rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that support your goals and aspirations. And that's where the practical techniques I outline in the Future You formula come into play. It starts with awareness. You need to become a self-observer, a detective of your own thoughts and feelings. You need to start paying attention to your inner dialogue, to the stories you're telling yourself. What are the recurring patterns of thought that are holding you back? What are the negative assumptions that are shaping your behavior? What are the self-sabotaging stories that are keeping you stuck? One of the most effective ways to cultivate this awareness is through journaling. Start writing down your thoughts and feelings. Pay attention to the language you use. Are you constantly criticizing yourself? Are you focusing on your weaknesses rather than your strengths? Are you dwelling on past failures? Once you've identified these limiting beliefs, it's time to challenge them. This isn't about ignoring them or pretending they don't exist. It's about examining them critically, questioning their validity. Ask yourself, is this belief based on facts or assumptions? Is there any evidence to support it? Are there any counterexamples that contradict it? Often you'll find that these beliefs are based on nothing more than subjective interpretations of past experiences. They're not rooted in reality, but in fear and insecurity. Let's take the classic example. I'm not good enough. This is a common limiting belief that plagues many people. But what does good enough even mean? Who sets the standard? And what evidence do you have to support this belief? Perhaps you've made mistakes in the past. Perhaps you've received negative feedback. But does that mean you're inherently not good enough? Or does it simply mean you're human, and like everyone else, you're capable of making mistakes? The truth is, You're far more capable than you give yourself credit for. You have unique strengths, talents, and experiences that make you valuable. You have the potential to learn, grow, and achieve remarkable things. But you need to believe it. You need to replace those limiting beliefs with empowering affirmations. This isn't about reciting empty platitudes. It's about creating new neural pathways in your brain, reinforcing positive beliefs that support your goals and aspirations. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," you might reframe it as, "I'm capable of learning and growing," or "I have unique strengths and talents that I can use to make a difference." The key is to find affirmations that resonate with you, that feel authentic and believable, and then repeat them regularly. Write them down, say them out loud, visualize them in your mind. This process takes time and effort. It's not an overnight fix, but with consistent practice, you can gradually rewire your brain and create a more positive and empowering mindset. Now, I want to emphasize that this isn't just about positive thinking. It's about building a foundation of self-compassion. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have moments of doubt and insecurity. And that's okay. It's part of the human experience. But we need to learn to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially when we face challenges. We need to forgive ourselves for our mistakes and learn from them. Self-compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about recognizing that you're worthy of love, acceptance, and support, even when you fall short. It's about treating yourself like you would treat a dear friend who's going through a tough time. You'd offer them words of encouragement. You'd remind them of their strengths. You'd offer them a shoulder to lean on. And you need to do the same for yourself. This is a crucial aspect of building a resilient mindset. Because when you're kind to yourself, you're less likely to dwell on your mistakes and more likely to bounce back stronger. So, let's get practical. I want you to take a moment right now and ask yourself, what are some limiting beliefs that might be holding you back? What are the stories you're telling yourself that are keeping you stuck? Write them down. Be honest with yourself. This is a safe space. No one else needs to see this. And then, for each limiting belief, ask yourself, how can I reframe this into a more empowering affirmation? What positive statement can I replace it with? Remember, this is a process. It takes time and effort. But with consistent practice, you can gradually transform your mindset and unlock your full potential. Let's walk through a few more examples, just to illustrate the process. Let's say you have a limiting belief like, "I'm afraid to take risks." This is a common one. Many people are afraid of failure, afraid of stepping outside their comfort zones. But what if you reframe that belief as, "I'm willing to take calculated risks to achieve my goals," or "I learn and grow from every experience, even the challenging ones." Or let's say you have a limiting belief like, "I'm not creative." You might reframe that as, "I have a unique perspective and I'm capable of expressing myself creatively." Or, "I can develop my creativity through practice and exploration." See how that works? It's about shifting your perspective, changing the narrative, and creating a more empowering story.